this is Bill Booze with another edition of Biking with Booze. Here's my route that I'm taking today. This is a video to show my exploration of the Creekside Trail off the Blackwater Creek Trail. And I'm having to record this because my mic, either I didn't turn it on or something was wrong with it, or it wasn't connected tightly. So we're heading down this hill. I live at Westminster, Canterbury in Lynchburg next to BES School, and this is a Horace County street that goes down a nice steep hill, nice ride. Max out are usually around 32 miles an hour or so on this trail. Coming around to Roosen, and then this will take us out to Rivermont and on down to the trail. But the origin of this is that I had a doctor's appointment over by a general hospital, and I thought, well, maybe I could take my bike, ride my bike over to the appointment, but I didn't want to do it without knowing a little bit more about the trail. So we're at Rivermont Avenue, we're going to get on the bike lane. So I posted in Living in Lynchburg, a group on Facebook, and I got a lot of responses from people telling me that no, that's not for a bike, an e-bike, and only really for mountain bikes, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, we're approaching at Randolph Place, you're approaching Blackwater Creek Trail, and we'll take this down to where the trail, several trails intersect and access the Creekside Trail, which is a gravel and dirt trail predominantly. Much of it, it's a 5-mile trail, but a good portion of it's closed for repairs or something. Now we're going over the bridge over Blackwater Creek, and you'll see off on the left over here the trail that we're going to access. Right there it is, Creekside Trail. And as we come up here and head towards the intersection of all the trails, there's another access point to the trail that one could use right here off to the left, and then another access to that, and it's just a Y that it goes into one access point and down to the trail. I never explored that. Off to the right we go to the tunnel, and the far right we go to Kemper Station Trail, and we're going now on the Point of Honor Trail. And we'll get down this nice steep hill, and at the bottom of the hill is where people suggested I access the Creekside. It's actually milepost 1, or yeah, milepost 0 rather, of the Creekside Trail. So I turned on here, and this is all new gravel, so it was a little, a little shaky going through that, but it wasn't good. It looks like it just been put down pretty well. And this is a normal gravel surface here, and at this point it seems pretty decent. As we come around here, there's a nice little bench that overlooks Blackwater Creek, where there's a little bit of a rapid. Nice place to sit and just ponder or read a book or whatever. This was just yesterday, now that I'm recording this voiceover, and it was probably about 70 some degrees, so temperatures are getting cooler, and it was a little cool, but very pleasant. And as you can see, the leaves are changing, and now you see the bridge that I just came over, and beyond that the trestle for the CSX trains and Amtrak going north and south. And for parts of the trail you really are right next to the creek. Other parts, I guess you're really pretty much next to it all the time, but it's more visible in some places than others. And what people warned me about was not going on a trail when it's after a rain, because it can be muddy, and I experienced that later as we get a little bit further along the trail. And as I said, I don't like people that record rides and have no audio whatsoever, and they're just showing the whole ride. And I'm doing that, but I am going to add, I was talking the whole time when I was recording this, but I will comment on some of the terrain that I went over, but and I am recording the whole ride. It took me 35 minutes from Westminster to Thomson Drive, I guess is what I was looking for. And I recorded the whole thing because some people, I think, haven't been on the trail here in Lynchburg and might be interested in seeing it. It doesn't vary very much. There are places where, as people warned me, there are places where they've been muddy, and either the Park Service people have gone through with the truck or somebody else is and made rivets, or not rivets, but sunken places in the trail. And here you see it's like 2 tracks, and so I rode in the right track, but then there's a whole place with a whole lot of leaves, and you're not sure whether there's mud under that or what, because it looked like it had been wet at one time. But this is generally what you're going to see, exactly what the trail looks like, and I was very pleased. It went very well. It is, you've got to be watching what you're doing, and some people admonish me about not driving fast, and I wasn't even using power here. I'm cycling it just like a regular bike. I only use the power on my e-bike when I'm going up a hill that I can't cycle up myself or starting off. So I'm pretty careful about that anyway, but I didn't have any power on here, except in one place where there was really, the mud was dry, but it looked like it would be kind of hard to go through, and there was a little path on the right-hand side. We'll see it up here a little bit further. And then again, I don't put power on, but it is a place where you've got to be really careful. So I advise people who do want to go on a regular bike on this, and my e-bike it's a Velotric Discover 1. It's a relatively new company, and it has, there's a mud area, and it has 2.5-inch tires. So it's really, they're pretty hardy tires. Not really like mountain bike, not fat tire bikes, but somewhere in between a road bike and a mountain bike, I assume. Never ridden a mountain bike, so I don't know. There's a little trail going off to the left that I haven't checked to see where that goes. Originally, I thought maybe that was Hillside, what is it? Hillside Road, I think it is, but it was not, because Hillside Road's a little further up here. And you can see how pleasant a ride it is. Too bad you can't hear anything, because you could hear back when the little rapids there, you could hear that. And you could hear the crunching on the gravel, which is a neat sound. But I advise anybody who wants a little diversity in their rides to try this out. It is rated by the Park Service or Parks and Recreation to be a trail for hikers and pedestrians and bikes. So apparently we're not forbidden, bikers that is, not forbidden. Here's that place where you had to go off to the right a little bit, because it really is kind of muddy looking on the left-hand side. And then the mile markers are right there, and I can't read what they are, but this whole ride up to Thomson Drive is only about 2 miles, I think. And it is pretty, as I said, it's pretty much the same. But this part of it is pretty much this 2-track, whereas the opening was where they connected it to Blackwater Creek Trail, where it was laid down gravel and crushed gravel into the ground. And I did at one point, because one of the tracks seemed to get higher or lower rather, and I thought it was going to fall off to the right. So I went in the middle, during the median strip, in that grass, and it was fine. So that worked out pretty well. The reason I was interested in this, as I said up front, is that I'm trying to figure out all the things and all the places I can go on my bike so I don't have to take my car. And I've got the Kroger down pat. That's about a 1.8 mile ride through Humankind and off of Boonesboro Road. So that's one thing. And if I take the Kemper Street Station Road, I can easily get to Miller Park, because there's a bike lane on that road. I guess it's Kemper Street. And then there's no bike lane from there to the library, but that would be an easy ride. And so, in fact, I just listened to something the other day. A Canadian guy who I follow, the name of his channel is Shifter, if you ever want to check it out, Shifter. He talks about urban cycling and cities being friendly or not friendly to cyclists, and with infrastructure that really keeps cyclists safe. And he was saying that research had been done, this is probably half a dozen years ago, research had been done on bike lanes that are indicated by paint on the ground, on the pavement, with no other separation, compared to no bike lane paintings at all. And in fact, when there's no bike painting, this research showed, it is actually safer than when there is a bike lane, because when there's a bike lane, the motorists tend to see that the white line on the right of them as their boundary, and they can get as close to it as they want to, which means they're really close to a cyclist. When there's nothing there, then they don't have anything to judge that on, and so they tend to go off to the left. And that's happened to me as I was making this ride back home, where there's a place where there was no painted bike lane somewhere around the Cavalier, and the person who went around me went over the yellow line. So there's okay, right here we're hitting the access hill to Hillside Road, and that I think comes up by the emergency room of the general hospital. Now we just continue here some more, because that's around maybe mile 1, I'm not sure. And somewhere around here, I think I saw a house up on the left, but looking on a regular map, like Google Maps or something, I couldn't see that there was a house there, but doesn't mean there's not one. And this, again, is still 2 tracks, but it's got gravel in it, and I think that we just went past a place there with some new gravel. Right here it is, new gravel. You can see it's a little grayer. And that house is up on the left, a white building up on the left. Okay, let me get back to 2 things that I was talking about. First, I was talking about places I could ride my bike, and I mentioned the library, Miller Park, Kroger, and I can also, just taking the trail downtown, I can go to any of those places downtown, as you might know. I'm going to come back to that in a minute, because this is a lady that I end up talking to here. This is a bridge that goes to Oak Beaver and Freer Loop trails, and they really are just for hikers and pedestrians, not for bicyclists. She was telling me that that's where that bridge went. It looked like it was a relatively new bridge, really nice. So the other thing was this whole thing about bicycle infrastructure in cities. This Canadian guy was talking about, and painted bike lanes on a road or street, if they have the vertical bars, whether they're flexible or metal, coming up from the line, then that prevents cars from coming into the bicycle lane. So they're a little safer than if they're not there. The safest, of course, is to have a completely secluded bike lane, or at least to have concrete along the left-hand side of the bike lane to separate you from cars. Of course, the best and safest solution for bicyclists is to have trails like the Blackwater Creek trails and all the other associated trails that make up our system here in Lynchburg and all over the country now, and it's a growing trend, which is wonderful. And I look forward to being able to check out some of the other trails around. I do want to thank the folks that suggested this, the way to get into this trail, and assure me that they felt that I probably could ride on it, because I probably wouldn't have attempted it otherwise. And so this was very handy. And one of the very good things about Facebook, when you ask a question and you get a bunch of answers that help you. So we're just at milepost 1.5, and around the corner, or go up here a ways, I think we pass a man with a dog, and then, yeah, there he is. And another lady with a dog, and then we're at the access point to the Thomson Drive. And I'm looking at a map, and I think maybe that first turnoff that went off the trail might be the one that connects you with Jefferson Trail. I'm not familiar with the Jefferson Trail, but something else to explore. Somebody mentioned there's a big mud patch. Okay, we'll come up here, a lady with her dog, and then right around the corner to the left is the hill that goes up to Thomson Drive, and how steep it was surprised me. So I ride past it, as you'll see here, because I didn't want to make an attempt on it. And then I stop, and I'm going to I really probably could have just gone down the trail a little bit and come back just to get up some speed. Here I am using my power. In fact, I have 5 levels of power assist, and I used 4 for this. As I say, it's a steep grade, so I got myself turned around and got a running start to come up the trail. And it was, it's a little bumpy, so I have to be careful with that. And again, if you don't have an e-bike and you're not in terribly great shape, then you may walk up this hill. But this is the one beautiful thing about having an e-bike, is hills don't bother me anymore, obviously. And I make it here to the top, and here's Thomson Drive, and this is almost the end. We come up, and there is the cul-de-sac, the end of Thomson Drive, below all the doctor's offices. Thank you.